Hi, I'm Psaila and welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited to present this information to you today, and it's about the three types of business mindsets that we have. That's right, I believe that there's three types of mindsets, and today I've drawn up a diagram. I was just reflecting the other day before I was writing this content, and I was just reflecting on the different components around mindset that most business owners have. And most business owners start off like a bull out of the gates, and they're happy and healthy and energized, and then after a little while where the business either takes over them or the business isn't going as good as what they want it to be, things start to change. Now, the reverse of that also happens when you become successful. So your mindset shifts from where it is when you first started the business to where you need to be at an entrepreneur level. Okay, so, and then when I was thinking, I said, well, there's other different components that come with the mindset as well, and what activity needs to be done with that particular mindset, right? So as an example, if I'm looking at growing my sales, I need obviously the entrepreneur mindset to be able to say, okay, what type of sales do we need to do? What's the volume of that? How much is our client worth to us? Are we in the right markets? Is this my right client avatar? And then you also then need the technician that's actually going to be doing the sales. So they need to think like a salesperson. You can't have an entrepreneur thinking at one level and then them not being able to change hats and go into a sales mode. It's very difficult to work in between. Now, I get it. If you've got the right product, it literally sells itself, and most entrepreneurs that I know are very good at sales as well. I like to change the word from sales to communicating, because really that's, at the end of it, that's what you're doing. And sales kind of feels like a, pretty, dirty word, where in actual fact it isn't. So what I've done is, just to make it easy for everybody, is I've changed it to communicating. All right, so let's get back to this. So here's the three types of business mindsets. Number one, I believe that there's what's called a low level of thinking. And one low level of thinking usually equals high activity. Here's what I mean by this. So if you're an employee, let's say in a factory, by the way, this is no disrespect to people, it's just an observation. So if you're an employee, let's say working in a factory, usually it's a low level of thinking, because most of the times it's going to be the same style of monotonous, repetitive type work, whether you're driving a forklift, stacking shelves, whatever it may be, right? So I want you to think about it, that usually it's process style activity that, there's a lot of high activity. In other words, you're doing a lot of physical work or doing a lot of repetitive work, but there's low levels of thinking involved, okay? And usually that's at the bottom, so it's, it equals activity in your business. So if you're, if you've got a product that you're selling and you're in the warehouse for that particular day, usually all you're doing is, picking, packing the product, taping the box up, off you go, and it's you're really at activity level rather than any higher. And usually what I like to call it is, it's the daily grunt work, right? So as an example, if you own a big plumbing business, usually it's the people at the bottom levels that are maybe digging the trenches or just putting the pipes together, the tradespeople. Now, in saying that, there's nothing wrong with that. I was a tradesperson myself, but what I am showing with you is it's a high level of usually physical activity, but not a high level of mental activity. And by the way, it's not in all cases. I'm just showing you the difference here. And usually that's a low ROI. So people, that are doing the everyday work, it's very hard to leverage. You're not thinking as much, you're doing a lot of activity. Usually it's a daily grunt work, and there's a low return on your investment, especially, from a financial set point, yeah? Now, the next level of mindset in business is what I call a mid-level thinking. Usually it's management and systems, and it's medium activity. So you're still working, you're still doing what you do, maybe not as much physical labor, because now you're managing the environment more, managing people, managing your clients, managing your staff, managing systems and processes, and usually that's a medium return on investment. So you're getting paid more than the person at the bottom, as an example, and usually you're spending your time managing others. So there's higher level of activity, probably mid-level activity, except what it is at the end is you've got a medium return on investment. So you're middle management, think of it, along those parts. Now, by the way, I want to share with you is that if you're a solopreneur in your business, usually you're flicking between these three. Yeah. If you're just down the bottom here, it's very difficult to build your business. As an example, if you're a wellness practitioner, and you're trading dollars for hours, or you're a counselor, solicitor, whatever it may be, if you're trading dollars for hours, usually it's very difficult to get any more hours in the day to try to trade. So that's why you need to start thinking management. Who can you employ underneath you to be doing the daily activity? Once again, lower level activity of thinking, lower return on investment, high level of activity in the doing. Yeah. Now, then there's the high level thinking, right? This is up here. It's more around growth and direction. Yeah. So if you want to grow your business, usually this is the entrepreneur up here, the owner of the business, unless you're a solopreneur, or if you're thinking of growth, you need to be up here. It's a high levels of thinking, but low activity. So you're not necessarily, out there swinging the hammer all day. You're thinking, how do I increase the business? What do I need to do for marketing? You're meeting with opportunities that can grow the business, whether it's, different clients, whether it's, managers to say, how are we tracking today? What are the things that we're doing? Everything that comes in around that. Yeah. And I believe that there's the top 5% of entrepreneurs sit up in this little triangle up here. In other words, they're very high level thinkers. They don't have to do as much activity, except they're thinking about growth and direction. That's their mindset. Now, once again, you may flick into each different mode. So I believe it's pretty simple. The everyday running of the business usually is down here. The everyday management of the business is mid-tier levels, and then direction, if you want to grow your business, take it to that next level, be in R&D, come up with really good ideas to take the business to the next level, maybe research and development around product. Usually it's up in this level. So I'm hoping you enjoyed today's episode. This is the 3 types of business mindsets that you can apply straight into your business. Now, it's pretty easy because all you have to do is say, what type of task, what level of thinking. What's the next, what level of thinking? Am I not entrepreneur level? That's high level thinking. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm Psaila, and guess what? I look forward to seeing you on the upside.